Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to a. Um, sorry about that. My surprise totally blew up in my face. I was beginning to start playing a Mama Hart song along with the title picture that I had on here, but nobody could hear the music. But anyway, I am your host, Marlon. This is the election night coverage and celebrating Mama Hart's birthday at the exact same time. Um, I truly appreciate everybody that's coming out. We got a pretty, larger than average people watching for a Tuesday event. Anna will be on shortly. Let's see who's already out there. And is Foxy, Miss Hart, you have a lovely voice. Hello, everyone. And Mama Hart is already here. Hello, Mama Hart. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. So while we're going to go ahead and wait on Anna to come, let me just play you a snippet of what I was trying to play at the beginning of the show. Play Mama Hart's music in the background while we're doing the show. Oh, there you go. So, for everybody that's new to the show, no, I'm nearly not as inept as I'm acting right now. I don't know what's going on with me. I am just not used to coming on during the week, but happy birthday to Mama Hart. Lil is in the house. Happy birthday, Mama Hart. Mama Hart is telling everybody. Thanks, everybody. Did I break the show? No. I don't know what it is that I don't know if I have to literally be on or play the video for me to be heard. I just assume I can get off camera. Apparently not. So, I'll just play your music in the background for the show. We're gonna go ahead and wait on Andy to come in. Let's go ahead and get us some coverage and see what's going on right now. And like I said, everybody relax on all this is a blowout, oh it's over, blah blah blah, and all that other stuff. Um, because you are not until Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday. So um, I more or less wanted to come on and celebrate Mama Hart and less of covering the election because you're just not going to know about the presidency until the end of this week, maybe all the way into next week. See how it goes. Anyway, Anna Hart is here. Hello, Anna.
Hello, hello. Good to see everybody.
Um, oh, well, I did not miss you. I'll tell you that right now. Somebody better call Javier. Don't come in here with this thing, Will. You already started. Already. Mama Hart didn't break the show. No, but can y'all hear her music in the background, or I'm gonna waste my time with that too? No.
I can't hear music.
Mm,
You kind of sound like you're in a tin can to me.
I give up.
it's one of those nights.
It's a Tuesday. I am not used to doing a
That's
show
better.
on a Tuesday. But just in case anybody know, you didn't do a LOL. Your voice is a nice change, and it was. I wish everybody can hear Mama Hart's voice. It was really. Your mom said that I break the show. Everybody's telling her no, she didn't break the show. We need to call Javier and all that.
Okay, for why?
Anyway,
Oh,
so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna monitor the. She's leading in Virginia. Okay.
yeah.
We're just
She is.
gonna monitor the polls as they're beginning to start to close. Make sure that, like I said, you temper expectations. You're not gonna know anything until the end of the week. As a matter of fact, to help you temper your expectations.
Marlon,
Yes.
check out Texas. Texas right now is blue. I mean, it's not a solid blue. They haven't called it or anything, but right now she has a lead. That's interesting.
Well, I'm just at Tennessee now. I'm just using this.
I'm on the AP.
What is Maryland doing? Y'all ain't got nobody?
Oh, Maryland should go for Kamala Harris. It should.
Oh, and there's Oklahoma. So that's easy.
Well, Maryland's right close to DC, so they probably.
Oh, it
Maryland,
already
DC.
has been called. Yeah, yeah. I
And
see it. It's
they already gave it to Oklahoma. Already gave it to them. Alabama is already calling it. Duh.
South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Florida. Yeah. Oh, Texas just went a little red.
Ohio is up Harris by 52.6%. But again, we only got 32% counted. They already called it for West Virginia. Some of these days are just not going to be shockers. So, like I said,
No.
just hold off all expectations, and we're just going to do a couple of videos, celebrate Mama Hart. I had to remember that this is not our regular weekend show.
Right.
So I wanted to play something a little more lighthearted, something more funny, and things like that. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. So let's go ahead and get into this story. It's really short, a minute and 43 seconds, really short. And at the beginning, you're hearing as, oh, we've heard these type of stories before. Oh, we know what the ending is and everything. But no, you are not going to get the ending you thought you was going to get.
Earlier this year, Ancestry DNA had a sale on their kit. I thought it would be a great gift idea, so I bought 6 of them for Christmas presents. Today, my family got together to exchange presents for our Christmas Eve tradition, and I gave my mom, dad, brother, and 2 sisters each a kit. As soon as everyone opened their gift at the same time, my mom started freaking out. She told us how she didn't want us taking them because they had unsafe chemicals. We explained to her how there were actually no chemicals, but we could tell she was still flustered. Later, she started trying to convince us that only one of us kids need to take it since we will all have the same results and to resell extra kits to save money. Fast forward, our parents have been upstairs fighting for the past hour, and we are downstairs trying to figure out who has a different dad. Update. Thank you so much for all the love and support. My sisters, brother, and I have not yet decided if we are going to take the test. No matter what the results are, we will still love each other and our parents no matter what. Update number 2, Christmas isn't ruined! My screw up actually turned into a Christmas miracle. Turns out my sister's father passed away shortly after she was born. A good friend of my mom's was able to help her through the darkest time in her life, and they went on to fall in love and create the rest of our family. They've never told us because of how hard it was for my mom. Last night, she was strong enough to share stories and photos with us for the first time, and it truly brought us even closer together as a family. This is a Christmas we will never forget, and yes, we are all excited to get our test results. Merry Christmas, everyone. P.S. Sorry, my mom isn't a whore. No, you're not my daddy.
Oh,
Okay, just a little update. North
mhm,
Carolina is light blue. So I
mhm,
don't know if that means it's turning red or it's going from red to blue. But as of right now, it's light blue.
I don't think they finished counting votes.
But yeah, there you go, right there. North Carolina, 53.2 to 45.4 in North Carolina. So that's 16% counted though. So
I
again,
was gonna say how much? How much?
16%. Massachusetts has already called it for Harris.
Yep, I see.
So it's gonna be, and they're already calling it Missouri for Trump.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, dude, you must have been listening to a lot of Reddit stories yourself because immediately when they went upstairs and started arguing, your first thought was, all right, which one of us got a different daddy?
That okay, but that was my thought as well. Immediately when the mother goes, no, no, and the reason is really not a reason because you don't come into contact with any of the chemicals in this kit. You spit into a little jar and you close it, you shake it, you send it on its way, or you do a swab, depending on what kind of test you get. And there are all kinds of reasons to not do DNA. There is privacy. There is what will the company do with your information. If you are perfectly comfortable with having this information out, then really it's no problem. Like for me, my family, we all have done DNA tests. We know where our recent history comes from. We also know where our uh, ancient history comes from. I've been able to track quite a long way. And it, so when she immediately starts going on to the chemicals, I was like, honey, you're not understanding this. It says she has something to hide, and look at the result. She did. This has got to be a huge awakening for the sister. She has a biological father she never knew about, that there's all these health things, there's a lot of just information that's coming in at her right now, and I hope she's doing okay with it.
Well, the last thing it started that it ended with, and that don't mean it ended on a good note. It just didn't end on a bad one. Is that she
Right.
did bring out pictures and introduce the father and showing him and things like that. Plus, I don't think he actually said what the age of the children was, or
Okay.
even how old he was. So we may be talking about kids who are already grown,
Right.
and at some point, at least for me,
Please
at
don't
some
start
point, you
talking.
just kind of go, "Oh well, this is the person that raised me, so this is my parent." I mean,
Yeah.
I would have a problem, knowing about my biological
Mhm.
whatever or their side of the family, but you my parent. I've been in
Mhm.
your life darn near all my life, so
You're the one who came to doctor appointments, to school plays, to, yeah.
so may not be that big of a deal to them. But let's go ahead and move on to the other video real
I
quick.
hope that was just nice and healing for the mother,
Yes,
ultimately. Yeah.
I
Alright.
for her to, I ain't gonna say for her to hold on to it. I
It
really
didn't
just
work.
thought it was gonna never be brought up.
Ah,
This is the only father that her daughter knew. That was it. So why bring it up? Why be scared? Why anything?
because when the DNA comes back, it will show a difference in, depending on where the biological father is from. And also, it's not just a geographical location. You get a readout of different traits that you inherit from your parents. And she would see, I'm way different over here.
Yeah. But all right, everybody,
Uh,
also keep a note. We only staying on for an hour.
mhm.
We do have some weekend shows, so we are not going to burn ourselves out. But again, I have a two-parter story,
Okay.
two-parter, two video. I don't know. I don't think I ever played this story on here before. If I
All right.
have, oh well. If I
We'll go with
haven't,
it.
congratulations. But
We got to
I,
get you a better filing system or something.
yeah, nah. I play too much of these Reddit stories. You'll be amazed at how many Reddit stories that I have listened to where there's repeats. Like I
Mm.
heard you do
How
this in
many of
another
you have
video.
saved is the
Yeah,
question.
I've heard you read the same story in another Reddit video.
Right.
So, but, all right, Virginia, let's go. Only
Mhm.
7% though. But it's at 72.9 to 26.0. But again, only 7% counting. So
We might actually have results tonight because of the Electoral College and the way that is designed.
well,
We might.
they got to my bedtime, and then I'll just wake up to whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, very first video, both of them are kind of long, 4 minutes. I had to break it up, but I think I did a good enough job. The title is
Okay.
plainly called Cookies.
I'm with everyone else. I thought the mom was sneaking out. Oh, this is such a happier ending. I'm so glad. Recently, I traveled to Denver, Colorado with my wife and my wife's parents. As a resident of a non-legalized state, and as someone who is too much of a wussy to regularly buy illegal drugs, the thing I was looking forward to most was the chance to buy fancy legal weed. What could possibly go wrong? So the first thing I do upon arriving, and after successfully ditching the in-laws, is drag my wife to a nearby dispensary for a shopping spree. And oh my god, it was just like in my dreams. Tons of different options in neat little sample jars and a team of helpful stoners walking me through the various strains. Are you looking for a mellow body high? Or do you want something that gives you a bit more pep and energy? Or are you just hoping for something light to take the stress off? Yes, yes, and yes, I reply eagerly like a fat kid in a candy store, and request an eighth ounce of about 7 different options. In hindsight, if I learned anything from this experience, it is that my math and science teachers never taught me basic information like what is an ounce or how much weed can a person consume in a single weekend. Sure, I can tell you when 2 speeding trains leave separate stations will collide and recite Avogadro's number, but it turns out that none of that information is particularly relevant to getting high in a responsible and efficient manner. And it was at this dispensary that I also learned that you can't actually smoke in public places, including the hotel that my wife and I were staying at. As a result, before leaving, I begged my wife to buy some edibles that I could munch on until we found a place to properly get lit. After expressing shock as to the absurd volume of drugs that we were buying, unlike me, she is the product of private school and understands the imperial measurement system. She relents, and we walk out of the store with what felt like a dump truck of weed plus a small package of seemingly innocuous ginger snap cookies. When we finally get back to the hotel room, I tear those bad boys open, only to find about a dozen tiny cookies roughly the size of a quarter. What the F, Denver? Seeing the skepticism and hunger in my eyes, my wife warns me that I should go easy and look at the back of the package first before trying one. Dose size, half a cookie, I read silently as I start taking micro bites from the edges like a giant chinchilla gnawing on a sunflower seed. But what kind of savage only eats half a cookie? So a second later, I covertly pop the remainder into my mouth. And then I quickly stuff another 2 cookies in my mouth for good measure the moment my wife turns her back. We may not have legal weed back home, but I routinely devour an entire package of Milanos in one sitting without breaking a sweat. Your move, tiny ginger snaps. About 30 minutes later, oh man, I can already tell this story is going to be good. About 30 minutes later, we are in the back seat of her parents' rental car on the way to dinner, and that's when things start to go tits up. My stomach growls, loudly and angrily. My wife looks at me with inquisitive eyes that seem to say, diarrhea? But I merely clutch my tummy and mumble something about altitude sickness. You didn't eat the whole cookie, did you? She asks, 10% in genuine concern and 90% in seething irritation. Of course not, I respond, avoiding eye contact for the remainder of the car ride. A few minutes later, we are climbing out of her parents' rental car and heading into some trendy farm-to-table restaurant. I don't remember how I made it to my seat, and I don't remember ever looking at the menu, but I do remember the concerned look on the waiter's face as he asked me if I was doing all right. Keep it together, man, I say to myself, but my wife's sudden groan suggests that I may have also said that to the waiter. Things are going downhill fast.
I don't know enough about this song.
Okay. One first thing I have to say is I'm a little annoyed at the insinuation of the fact that we all talk like this. You know, I'm smoking right now. I am smoking for medicinal purposes, and it's actually connecting some brain cells that weren't. So, and it is also slowing some others, no doubt. I also know this plant. I have been with it for a good number of years. The people at dispensaries are usually incredibly helpful, intelligent, uh, well-spoken people who are ready to go dive deep, and they'll tell you about the terpenes and the different percentages of THC to CBD to CBG to CBN to, there's a lot of stuff that goes in to cannabis. And the effects, unlike so many other drugs out there, especially the man-made cocaine, heroin, you can override cannabis. That has been my experience. That has been Lorraine's experience. That has been many of my friends' experience. And you can also direct it. So you get a certain type that has certain terpenes and all those lovely letters. It will help you towards like cleaning, having the focus and the linear drive to get through a one thing at a time. Because for me, I'm very much like I'll start wiping down a counter and then something else will pop in, and getting back to that wiping the counter down is about 25 minutes later. But let me tell you, the difference between laying within absolute horrific pain, stress, anxiety, I have had help with all. It helps with sleep. Some even give an appetite. And for me, I have gastroparesis, and that means my stomach is either very slow at digestion or it doesn't digest at all. And I don't get hungry. Not at all. Naturally, days will pass by and I'll finally notice that I'm about to fall over. Be like, oh, I have to eat. There is something incredible about cannabis. But for some people, it's not their medicine. Listen to that. And this guy, unfortunately, he didn't listen to the warnings of, hey, if you're new at this, if you've never had an edible before, please follow the directions. Maybe even take it half as much.
Did at Chris party that year, remember?
What was that, Foxy?
She had a little bit of it at Chris's party,
The 30th.
Ah,
her 30th party.
Little teeny piece.
Little teeny piece.
and how much did it affect you?
A lot.
See, everybody's chemistry is different, and you react to the different plants, differently. Because there are a billion strains out there.
But I
So,
don't partake. So
Mhm.
I was drinking too. It was a lovely high. I ain't gonna lie.
It sounds good.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't.
good.
I don't drink much because of medicine and all that, but
I don't drink at all. But I can't do edibles because they just don't do much for me. I've been doing the flower for a long time, you know. Um, back when I was a kid, and they would like me to just take Valium all the time, which really zonked me out. And I found that smoking a joint was a lot more under my control. So I've been using it as medicine since I was 15.
Mhm. That's a very common story.
Yeah, but the more you smoke, the less you can get off on edibles.
Yeah.
I told a friend of mine that this brownie was nothing. She ate the brownie. She said it was the highest she'd been in her life. She was just laying on my couch.
But I can't do edibles without drinking because I don't like the effect. I don't like the effect of smoking weed. So I stopped that when I was like I was a teenager when I stopped smoking weed. But
Uh-huh.
edibles, it does give you a different buzz, a different.
Mhm.
It hits you differently.
When we make the edibles, I'd be afraid to give anybody we know. These edibles are a lot stronger, and but it's really really helpful for physical pain.
LL saying, "There's the birthday lady."
There she is.
Because I'm getting old and in pain. I gotta have my flower.
Happy birthday.
Ah, happy birthday. Well, okay, I'm gonna come say a quick hello, and then I'm gonna get under your hair.
Coming over. Let me see if I can.
Am I coming? Am I coming? Am I coming? I just wanted to say thank you very much. I love you all, and I really love this show, and this was really sweet for me. I thank you because lately I just feel I don't do music and nobody loves me.
Wow.
You know, you get old, you start like right. I haven't had a gig in quite a while. I miss it. I miss it more than anything. I was going to say something naughty there, but I'm not going to.
And I think I know how to do this.
No.
Mhm. All right. All right. I love you. And I'm going to leave you to your show and carry on.
Happy birthday, love.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the second video. I'm going to try something just to see if I can do it.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and go ahead with the second video real quick. The second part to, oh, and by the way, I do have to do this. Yeah.
I wish we heard more of that bass.
It just goes downhill fast.
The waiter nods sympathetically, takes our orders, and then heads to the next table. The moment he walks away, my wife is staring daggers at me. I start to worry that the jig is up. "You are sweating from your entire face," she says with both pity and disgust. Not quite knowing what to do, I reach for my napkin and proceed to blot my cheeks, nose, neck, chin, and forehead. At this point, my wife's mom looks over at me with some concern. "Are you all right?" she asks kindly. "Yeah, the food's just a bit spicy," I reply, far too quick to realize we had literally just ordered and there is nothing on the table except for a basket of dinner rolls. My wife kicks me under the table to grab my attention. "Bathroom, now," she hisses. "Get it together." I reluctantly get up from the table and head for the toilet. After splashing several handfuls of water on my face, I approach a urinal and start to pee. Now, one of the more disconcerting effects of those tiny ginger snap monsters is the feeling that time has become untethered from reality. As I am peeing, I start to get the very unsettling feeling that I have been taking a piss for the better part of an hour and that my wife must be pacing around the restaurant worried about me. But deep down, I know that is absurd. I've been peeing all my life, sometimes multiple times a day. I've probably taken more than 50,000 leaks, and it usually only takes about a minute at most. So given that my typical pee is no more than 60 seconds, and given that it feels like I'm about halfway done, that means that I've probably only been standing here for about 30 seconds, right? But the guy at the urinal next to me doesn't respond and instead starts shuffling away from me midstream like a startled penguin. I try, albeit unsuccessfully, to break eye contact. After finally finishing, I again splash some water on my face and return to my seat, making sure to apologize to the table for being gone such a long time, just in case my math was off. Next, I try briefly to engage in small talk with my wife's father, but I am far too high to understand what either of us are saying. Not wanting to start laughing uncontrollably at the wrong moment, or really at any moment, I figure the safest idea is to nod my head periodically and drink a ton of water. Nothing cures mental fatigue like water, right? To my wife's horror, I stand up, grab my water glass, and thrust it out to the waiter, who unfortunately is on the opposite on the opposite side of the restaurant. But he turns out to be really cool, and after making his way over to our table, tells me that he'll do his best to keep me stocked with ice water for the rest of the meal. He also helpfully suggests that if the dinner rolls aren't too spicy for me, I should probably eat one or two so that I'm not sitting there on an empty stomach. Smart man. However, after going through all of the bread on the table and 3 glasses of water, I start to get worried that I need actual food to offset the growing paranoia from those tiny ginger snap devils. Do you think I should flag down the waiter again and ask what's taken so long? I suggest helpfully to my wife. What? We literally just ordered three freaking minutes ago. And at that exchange, my wife loses her cool. How many cookies did you eat? She demands. Whoa there, easy Torquemada, I respond, somewhat horrified at her outburst. I had a few cookies, but keep it down. I don't want your parents to know how effed up I am right now. Really? They are sitting 2 feet away from you. They know. I look up and for the first time notice both of my in-laws just staring at me for what literally felt like an eternity.
Dude. Please drink some water. Eat some fruit and vegetables. Oof.
All right. Well, gotta figure something out.
I can hear it.
Perhaps there'll be no someday or one day, no tomorrow to borrow for you and me. I understood what home meant in a moment. That's the charm in your arms is the place to be. For if there's only this day, make it our day for always and forever. This day, our day, this moment. Perhaps there'll be no someday or one day, no tomorrow to borrow for you and me. I understood what home meant in a moment. That's the charm in your arms is the place to be. For if there's only this day, make it our day for always and forever. This day, our day, this moment.
Yeah.
That is My mommy. About
Um,
2003.
all right. I'm going to have to find another streaming service since for some reason,
Mhm.
the streaming service that I was using has been
Premier?
taken off the air. I don't know what happened. They just this has been removed. I'm like, dude, you've been on since I don't know what time. So why is this a violation? But I already
Then
found
maybe flagging the music? Like you play a whole song? I don't know.
they didn't flag me. The
The
YouTube that I was using to get the election, they removed it.
Oh,
I don't know what happened. So
okay. Well, according to the Associated Press, Harris has 71 to Trump's 101 electoral college votes. So, let's see, Illinois, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Vermont have been called for Harris, while West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, um, Missouri, Oklahoma, they have been called, in Florida for Trump.
well, and none of those again, like I said, why I tell everybody to keep your expectations. None of what she said is a shock.
Right. So
Oh,
it's very much like what a lot of other people have been saying, and you know, on Sunday, yeah, I don't know, I got into a little bit of a funk. I'm not sure why, what it was that triggered me down, but I'm seeing the red mirage. I thought that would happen, and I'm also seeing that a lot of the exit polls are showing a plurality for issues like democracy, like abortion, like I think immigration is either third or fourth. So the numbers, they're looking predictable. Let's say that. Um, Not sure how close this is going to be.
and we've also heard this before, the red mirage and then the blue
Right.
wave. Um, so like I said,
And
just
it's
keep
never been
cool.
much of a wave. Let's be honest there. It was a current ripple at
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah, because the last time and I'm doing it right now, the last time I checked, she is down in Georgia. She is also now down in
Yes.
North Carolina. Um, so uh,
Virginia as well.
and in Virginia. So, like I said, everybody chill out.
Yep.
Don't get too excited. Thank you all that came to see us. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being with us to celebrate Mama Hart birthday and to do our very first and probably our very only, would you say, Anna, 7 years till this happens again?
Yeah, because
Okay, so
it's
we
when the
posted.
election falls on a Tuesday, or sorry, when her birthday falls on a Tuesday, rather, every 7 years, give or take a leap year every now and again. Um,
Well,
yeah,
good. If it's 7 years from now, then that'll be right before the next election. Because that'll be 4 years term, then that'll be three, whoever wins this election.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Also, given that this is the celebration of Mama Hart, I just wanted to explain a little bit of as I was growing up, every weekend, my parents had a gig. she was the lead singer. The place was always packed and people were cheering. It was a little bar kind of a thing. It wasn't a huge stadium or anything like that. But we loved our community. We loved the people that we became family with because we made music together. I was actually supposed to be in that song with a harmony on the last verse, and it was very hard not to sing it because I didn't know what the timing would be like. So that song, Lorraine is not just a singer; she's a songwriter. That comes from her brain. It, there's one song, "Manhattan Island Shines," that it always evokes such imagery in my head and such a feeling that does make me reminiscent of Manhattan and traveling around on the ferry in the river. Yeah, it captures that mood perfectly. And that's the magic of Mama Hart. Like she took her experiences, her circumstances, and she sang about it. That was her contribution. That people could come, relax, have a drink, have some food, and just lose themselves to music. And they would do everything from the band to Bob Dylan, a lot of stuff that they grew up with. Um, they did a lot of covers, but they did a lot of her originals as well. And they are incredibly special. There is a website where she has a few of her songs, but also not only her songs, it's some of the covers as well. But that's what Marlon was playing from. And singing has been her joy for so long. She used to talk about being a baby, putting her cheek to her father's cheek, who was a Scottish, um, he liked classical sort of music. He liked the old, slower. And it wasn't long before she was singing with him. So it was like she has a memory of always, always singing and always having her mind making new songs. I mean, that alone is so incredible for me. I tried to make a song once, and no, it's silly. She has a gift. But I also have to say here that there's a not so great side to the story because patriarchy really took her down when she was considered not as desirable to the guys. Like one thing I noticed was there was a healthy flirtation between her and her bandmates. There is a relationship that you show on stage that is very much a stage thing, and it does not go. I mean, it should not go for some. Yeah, it did not with us. And like, there were times that I would come in and I would sing backups because by the time you were, I think, 15, you're allowed to come in, just not go to the bar. And it was a family experience, but it was also an ethereal, almost out of body experience for me to sit back and watch when something takes over Lorraine and she just sings from her toes. It's incredible. And I miss it because once the men decided that she wasn't all that desirable, their attitude towards her changed, and she very quickly did not have a band. Like, we had guys in New York, but we also had to start over in Washington. That's where she went from more rock and roll to a jazz style that you hear. And those guys, they allowed themselves to become assholes one night. And result was it broke up. It took away Lorraine's access. Because finding another band, a whole other band, it's not easy. You don't want to step in on people who are already established, but I know her mind is still going. She's still writing. She turned 69, and she is still that rock star to me. Like, she did have that aura where you get transported away with this band, and I would say more so with the New York band. I really do miss them, and um, also have to say, like, we're still friends all these years later, a lifetime later. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about Lorraine and why she has the respect and adoration that you just it seems to call her presence just calls that up, and I'm really proud to be her daughter. I'm really proud that we have worked
Oh,
all our lives to be good friends. You know, she was mom, absolutely, and she was a tough mom, and I loved it. I thrived. I love you, mom. I thank you so much. I celebrate you. I celebrate, and I remember all those times of looking up at you on stage, sometimes on a big stage too. She's the one who brought me to protests. She's the one who taught me my core values and to listen. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Emma. And thank you, Mama Hart, for raising a wonderful woman. You did a great job. You should be proud. Well, let's go ahead and end this show on some lighthearted stuff.
Okay.
The the other text. Love you too, sweetie hearts. Oh, y'all are too much.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were listening. Ah.
Let's go ahead and get silly before the end of the show. We ain't got before
Okay.
home. So let's go ahead and
Huh.
get into the Mount Rushmore videos. These are the videos that we are never, ever going to erase, ever.
Good evening. Is this available? Yes, it is. Please leave me alone. We are sleeping. No more contacting, please. Appreciate you contacting me. I know I'm no longer interested. Please stop contacting me now. I will contact Attorney General if you do not stop.
That kills me every time.
That reminded me of, just to get a little bit of political. So two guys are running for attorney general in North Carolina, because obviously the attorney general that we have, Stein, is running for governor. And it's
Gotcha.
down to Jackson, and I believe the other
Yeah,
guy
so is ours.
in Harris.
That's funny.
The deal is Harris took all the playbooks out of Trump's, all the plays out of Trump's playbook, except one that he should have taken out. Because again, we're in North Carolina. He literally said, if I'm elected, I will help secure our borders and make sure that people. I'm like, bro, we don't have a border. What are you talking about? We're surrounded by 3 states and an ocean.
South Carolina, you got Tennessee, you got Virginia.
What?
But them wily Virginians, you know, you need.
I guess so. You like to go, what are you talking about, dude? You just, I will help secure the borders. Well, what? Moving to Texas? What are you going to do from North Carolina? Look
Well,
at the map
okay.
in front of you. We are nowhere near Texas.
Is there a way for a state to maybe send a portion of its National Guard or Army to a border?
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay.
It has to be an extreme emergency.
Emergency. Okay.
It has to be an extreme emergency for one state's National Guard to go to another state's National Guard. Like, it really has to be an extreme emergency, like flooding, like a tornado, like a hurricane. Not, I need you to send your people, because the National Guard is for the protection of that state. It's not for the protection of other states. Unless it's just he talking out his butt.
Yeah.
Next video.
Ooh, Caroline, oh, keep my name out of your thin mouth. What did Caroline do? She stole my broccoli, casserole recipe 8 years ago, and claimed it was hers. She claimed it was hers. No, you're not talking about it. Might be from Carolyn. No, she a crazy lady. She's a rotten recipe stealing bitch. Doris. No, careful who your friends are.
All right. Let's go on to one of the all-time favorites of this show.
It was the 90s, and we were at the fall festival, and there was this game where you threw darts at balloons, and the prize was either these weird mirrors with heavy metal bands, or you could also pick a goldfish. And I really wanted the goldfish, and I popped a balloon, but my friend was like, "Don't pick a goldfish, are you gay?" So I was like, no, and I picked the Twisted Sister mirror. But actually, I wanted the goldfish. I just didn't want anyone at the fall festival to think I'm gay. But looking back, I wish I had been brave enough to be myself at the fall festival, being gay with the goldfish, being gay with the goldfish. Sing it with me, gay with the goldfish, being gay with the gold. That window is open and there's 2 guys who could totally hear me.
All right, everybody, 2 more videos and we got to get up out of here. One
I
for
don't
Anna,
know.
one for
I
me.
don't know if everybody knows. Kevin spent his childhood really repressing himself, his sexuality. it was only after school that I'm gay, and I'll say that with all my chest. I'll sing it even. But growing up, he very much was like, "No, I'm not." It was very important for him to keep that up.
Well, I'm glad he did. I'm glad.
Yeah, he
Here's
let it
one.
go.
Here's one for Anna.
I'm assuming you're Legibitqua until you come out to me as straight.
What? I now wish to be referred to as Legibitqua. Yep, that's happening now. Let's Legibitqua. Feels so bougie. I'm a member of the Legibitqua. No. I love it. Legibitqua, y'all.
You made my day.
I love that lady's laugh too. That I love everything about that.
All right.
I
You
know
got-
there's a Spanish mother where you pronounce different things for their alphabet, and it's like los gibbets.
What?
Los gibbets, because the L is in the beginning. Gay, G,
Oh,
B,
they
and
still.
G. So los gibbets is a very.
All right. Let me do something real quick because that is not gonna work.
Mhm.
That thing was not showing much of anything other than it changed. Okay. Can you tell us how many people are in it? What's going on? No, nothing. Okay.
New York has been called for Harris.
Yeah, that goes without saying. North Carolina has changed. Um, Harris was leading. Now she's falling behind, but um, still not being called.
Right.
But anyway,
This is a long way. We have to wait for all the time zones to go by.
yeah,
Because for
right.
me, it's coming up on, it's 6 o'clock right now.
Yeah,
Our
it's not.
polls close at 8.
Yeah, it's 9 here. So,
Right.
but
So patient.
if I had to tell you anything to look out for tonight, late tonight, um, don't pay any attention to California. That's going to Harris. Look for Nevada. Um, keep an eye on Kansas, which you have this in alphabetical order. Nice.
Josh Stein has won the governorship of North Carolina.
What was the score? Was it a blowout?
So he had over 1 million votes, 1,190,755. That's 54.2%. They have 37%, but it's enough to call it. Mark Robinson has 900,496 votes. That's 41%. Mike Ross, 3%. Vinnie Smith, whoever this is, 0.9%. But it's been called
All
for
right.
John.
All right. Let's see you, Robinson. Anyway.
Good, because that guy, pretty scary.
No, he's
Well, kooky.
he's gone. He's gone. Like he drunk the Kool-Aid way too much.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to a point,
Slavery was okay. How does that come out your mouth? I don't get that.
Okay. There's
The Nazis were good people. I would probably be a Nazi. Like, dude.
got a bunch of Nazis in Washington now, so what's the big deal? I mean, he was he was going on and on. I'm like,
Wow.
dude, your whole cabinet left you. Like, stop, please.
I'm happy for North Carolina, Good
Right.
choice there.
All right, my favorite video.
Why, yes, I'm an evil left-wing sheeple snowflake working for the deep state here to force your wives to get abortions and then leave you for transgender lesbians. Yes, it was us Antifa that stormed the Capitol to make you all look bad so that we can take your guns, spread communism, and blast Cardi B in your churches. And you're never gonna stop us, no, 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 you're never.
Oh, I love that song. Even though I do have another favorite, though. I haven't played it a lot, but I can't erase it because I love the ending.
I need you to give me this line, but make it pretty. Put some spoon sauce on it.
Okay, spoon sauce.
Boom, 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 bum, bum. Ba-na-na-na-na-na, boom-dum-dum, ba-na-na-na-na. Dun-dun, da-na-na-na-na, boom, dun-dun,
Keep going. So you want that or you want to hit?
Well, give me the pop. Yeah. All right. Work. Money. Perfect.
Oh, that is gold.
It is. Oh, gracious. I wish they would make that a whole song. I promise you.
I'm sure.
I've looked it up several times. I still haven't been able to find it. They just keep telling me to go to the YouTube site to get the song, but that's it. But
I wish we could play Ren, a young man from Wales who is quite ill and actually has to start treatment again for tick-borne infections. So, I commiserate with so much of his story. He has an incredible song called Hi Ren, and it goes all the way into his mind between that voice that you hear that tells you to doubt everything. The medicine, the doctors, your family. He's a crazy MFer who just sits there in your mind, ready to plant a seed of doubt wherever that will take flower. And he just pulled that whole experience up. It starts out with "Hi there, Ren, did you miss me?" And very cordial. But after a while, he says, "It's not your place to bite off the hand that feeds me." That voice is evil. And so many of us have heard it who deal with tick-borne infections. So having somebody write that out, it's incredible. It's almost like, Rob Thomas has done a couple of incredible songs for his wife who has tick-borne infections and autoimmune conditions. Hi, me too. There are just, he calls his wife's tears her diamonds, and that they are treasure and treasured by him. But oh my God, how do I go in there? How do I even begin to sit beside somebody whose level of suffering is something I cannot rightly comprehend without being in it? And just all of the complications, all of the worry that you feel as a caregiver. I love the way artists express this. They give credence to your situation, your experience. It is really, music has been a long time life savior for me. So, and you know what?
Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and go through this real quick and then tell you some surprises. Trump, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Nevada, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, West Virginia, and
Wyoming.
is that why? Oh, Wyoming. Yeah,
Wyoming.
Okay. Harris, Connecticut, Delaware.
Yes.
Let's go with that. Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Virginia, Vermont. Sorry, not Virginia, Vermont.
Right.
There are no surprises in anything that I said. Here are the surprises. Texas has not been called. North Carolina has not been called. Now, those are the only two that I'm going to give you because the rest of them is West Coast or deep Midwest. So we don't get that. But the fact that South Carolina has already been called, we're done with South Carolina. North Carolina has been called. Texas has not been called. So
I don't see a lot of the Houston is reporting, but some of the other big cities I don't see yet.
Okay, so me personally, I still don't see Texas. However, it should give some Republicans some pauses. For North Carolina and Texas not to have been called at 9:13, which I think in Texas is 8:13. Those used to be two of the easiest states to pick up, and they're not even calling it yet.
Right.
So, all right. Ella, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at borreliaetc.com. Oh, I have to put that in. That's BORRELIAETC.com. On the site, you will find all kinds of links to on the video section to TikTok, to YouTube. It's Borrelia, etc. everywhere. I talk about what it's like to be chronically ill with multiple tick-borne infections and other disabilities. So, and what it's like for the family as well. So we have been recording some videos, and I'm just in the editing process, so look out pretty soon.
All right. We will be back this weekend for Saturday Night Vibe and Radical Truth to Power. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Ladies
and check out ourunitedcore.com for Theus.
Check out Theus' ourunitedcore.com, Tracy's
TracyMediaLLC.com.
TracyMediaLLC.com. Help support her in all of her endeavors. I didn't get to do that because this is not a regular show.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're legitimate.
I appreciate Anna coming on this special night. Happy birthday.
I appreciate you,
Mama Hart.
Marlon.
Thank you. And until next time, happy birthday, Mama Hart. Until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace. Happy birthday
Happy
birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya.
My dog is coming over.
All right, I am out of here.
All
I gotta
right.
get to work.